Have you ever noticed how the smallest gestures can make the biggest difference? Sometimes it's not the grand acts or the loud declarations that leave a mark, but the quiet, simple moments of kindness that ripple through our lives. These are the moments that remind us of our shared humanity, especially when the world feels cold and distant. Let me tell you a story about a girl, a single glove, and the warmth she found in the coldest moment. It's a story that begins on a day when the world seemed wrapped in ice, but ends with a lesson that can melt even the iciest heart. It was one of those winter days, the kind where your breath hangs in the air and your fingers go numb the second you step outside. The city was blanketed in snow and every step crunched beneath her boots. People hurried past, faces hidden behind scarves, each person lost in their own world, eager to escape the biting wind. The girl was hurrying home, clutching her coat tight, when she saw an old man shivering on a bench. He sat alone, his shoulders hunched against the cold, as if he was trying to disappear into his thin jacket. The world seemed to rush by him, indifferent to his struggle. He didn't have gloves. His hands were red and raw, like they hadn't felt warmth in days. The sight of his trembling fingers, exposed to the harsh winter air, made her heart ache. She wondered how many people had passed him by, not noticing, or perhaps choosing not to see. She glanced down. She only had one glove. She'd lost the other that morning. It had slipped from her pocket somewhere between home and school, and she'd spent the day with one hand always colder than the other, wishing she could find it again. And yet, something inside her just wouldn't let her walk past. She hesitated, torn between her own discomfort and the old man's need. It would have been easy to keep walking, to tell herself that she had nothing to give, but her feet wouldn't move. She took off her last glove, walked over, and gently pressed it into the old man's hand. Her fingers immediately felt the sting of the cold, but she didn't pull away. She looked into his eyes, offering a small, reassuring smile. He looked up, surprised. She just smiled and said, "Stay warm." For a moment, the world seemed to pause around them, and the cold faded into the background. As she walked away, her bare hands stung in the icy air. The wind bit at her skin, and she tucked her hand into her pocket, trying to shield it from the cold. But she didn't regret her choice, not for a second. But something incredible happened. With every step, she felt a strange warmth spreading through her, not on the outside, but deep within. It was as if a tiny fire had been lit in her chest, burning brighter with each memory of the old man's grateful eyes. Every step she took, she felt warmer. Not on the outside, but deep down, like her heart had found a little fire in the middle of winter. She realized that sometimes the warmth we give away comes back to us in ways we never expect. That feeling stayed with her all day. She noticed other small acts of kindness around her. A stranger holding a door, someone sharing an umbrella, a neighbor offering a smile. It was as if her own gesture had opened her eyes to the quiet goodness all around. Later that night, she couldn't stop thinking about it. As she lay in bed, her hands still tingled from the cold, but her heart felt full. She wondered if the old man was warmer now, if he felt a little less alone. She'd given away what she needed most, but in return, she found a kind of warmth that no glove could ever give. It was a warmth that came from knowing she'd made a difference, even if just for one person, on one cold day. Her kindness had sparked something that can turn the coldest day into a memory of hope. The next morning, the world seemed a little brighter, as if her small act had nudged the sun a bit higher in the sky. Kindness, she realized, is contagious. When we give, we inspire others to do the same. A single act can echo through a community, touching lives in ways we may never see. So if you ever find yourself holding back kindness because you think you don't have enough, remember this. Sometimes the smallest gift is the most precious. You don't have to have everything to give something meaningful. Giving what you need most is the greatest kindness. It's an act of courage, of empathy, and of hope. It's a reminder that we're all connected and that our actions matter. Sometimes, that's all it takes to change someone's day, or even your own. The warmth you share might be exactly what someone else needs to keep going. Thanks for listening. Stay warm out there, and never underestimate the power of a single, generous act. You never know whose life you might touch, or how much warmth you might find in your own heart along the way.